Welcome to the Spiritual Encounters channel, and tonight we're in the haunted forest surrounding Smithills Hall. We're going to take a walk through the forest and go down to the ruins of an old watermill, and then we're going to head on up to the ruins of another house called the Tippet House. We've been here before. We've done paranormal investigations in this area on and off for the last 15 years. This is our hometown, Bolton, Lancashire. And we have had paranormal activity in this woods on a couple of occasions. So we're going to do a spooky walk down now through the forest, and our first stop's going to be the remains of the watermill, and then we're going to do a little paranormal asking out activity there. We've got a spirit box, we've got some ghost EVP stuff we're going to do, so we'll try everything and see what we get, and then we'll move on to our second location. Andy? Are you going to lead the way through the woods?
Oh, aye.
Just let me get my torch on. Yeah, hang on. Right, we're on. Do you want your hand torch?
No, I'm alright with it.
Alright, let's go then. Okay, so whilst we're taking this spooky walk through the forest, I'll tell you a little bit about Smithills, this hall. We are going to do the hall on a separate occasion, because we want to do the hall outside and also indoors, so we're going to have to wait until the night when it's open. But we're going to be doing 3 episodes of Urban Legends in our local area. So we're starting with this one, which is the forest surrounding Smithills Hall. The story of the hall, basically, it originates from the 1200s. Used to be like a chapel with a small building where monks were housed. Then later on in the medieval period there were some other buildings added on, and it still remained a religious sect, for different sort of Catholic religions to come here and spend time together. I can give you a little glimpse of the hall because some of it is lit up, but we can't go in there tonight because it's all locked up. But there are occasions when they do unlock it and let people in to do paranormal, so we're going to have to do this Smithills Hall. It's an amazing place on another occasion. But as I've said, me and Andy have spent many an overnight at Smithills, and we always guarantee to get some paranormal activity here, so that's something to look forward to. The original building, the original hall, dates back to 1500s, and then actually, shall we stop at the bridge, because we've had actually stuff happen here before. Do you remember the last time we came, we brought Julie, and with the EMF meters were going off like mad. Okay, we'll make this our first stop. This bridge connects the Smithills Hall to Smithills Coaching House, which used to be the stables belonging to the hall. It was a brilliant, fantastic restaurant for many, many years, but now it's been turned into private buildings. Last time we were on this bridge, we actually did get quite a bit of EMF activity, so if Andy sets up the EMF meters now on the wall, and then we'll see if you just get the plastic box out of the backpack and all the stuff's in there, and we could start something here. So I'll give you another view of the hall while we're waiting. This is like, that bit there is the Victorian bit that was added on in the 1800s by the Ainsworth family that took it over. The original part is down here, the courtyard, which is very haunted. But to be fair, tonight some people have got a private function going on in there, so we can't actually go around the grounds of it just yet. So we're going to stay in the woods tonight and see what we can capture here. This bridge, well, there's been a couple of stories connected to this bridge. One of the stories is that a lady from the hall fell in love with one of the stable boys, and they would meet on this bridge, and the family found out and not very happy about it. So the story is that one of them, I don't know which one, jumped right down there into that ravine. You could probably hear the water. So we have had orbs on this bridge in the past. So we've set up EMF meter over here. Keep an eye on that one. And I think we're going to set up the torches as well and get a bit more light. It's a bit dark out here tonight because there's no lighting at all. So we'll have to provide our own. Let's just do this. little bit of lighting. Alright, got a bit more light in there now. Alright, so are you going to try it? What are you trying?
That word thing, is it?
Oh yeah, it's good that.
Anybody on this bridge can talk to themselves, to his name. Anything you want to say to it, anybody you like, or speak through this.
Oh, have you got something going off there? This is the device we've used on a couple of our other programs. It scans the area and then picks up any words that are being said kind of in the atmosphere, spiritual, ghostly. See if there's people in the hall, they might be activating the energy and then we might get some more stuff out here as well. The hall's a very busy place, they have weddings and everything up here. They hire it for theatre, they do paranormal, they do like, especially in the school holidays, they have it for nature things for kids and all that, so it's always something going on up here. So during the times when they're busy we can only use the woods outside the bridge, you know, other areas, but as soon as we can get in there we're going to go in there. We're going to include it in our urban legends. There's going to be a couple of spots we're going to be going to. You're picking up, yeah, the pace. The EMF meters haven't flickered yet. Let's just ask out and see if we can get some, generate some activity.
Does anybody want to talk to us? No.
Is there a lady and a man who used to meet on this bridge here? Is the story true about Smithills Coaching House? That you used to meet there? And actually, across that path there, the coaching house, was actually seen a man on horseback in grey, and two people actually saw the same thing, because the taxi driver came up here to pick up some people from the coaching house and he saw a grey sort of see-through horse with a man on top with wearing a top hat and Victorian clothing, like all in grey, and he freaked out that much he wouldn't come back up here again for a fare. And the second thing that happened up here, and I met this lady, she worked as a waitress up here when it was the coaching house. And she also had a second job at the hospital in the laundry. And when I met this lady, she was a skeptic. She didn't believe in the paranormal at all. But she worked a second job up here as a waitress. And one morning I think it was actually, she came to set up early for the lunch and stuff. And she said she saw the same horse coming down the lane. Grey man, top hat, exactly the same description. And he just disappeared. And considering this is the old coaching house to the hall, that makes a lot of sense that you would see a man on horseback here. But it's now private buildings, houses, flats. That used to be the coaching house restaurant. Now the horse was seen coming down that lane up there on 2 occasions by 2 different people. So that obviously has got to be some phenomena. If 2 people have seen the same thing 7 years apart, two people don't even know each other, never even met. Two people don't even believe in ghosts anyway, have this experience, frightened for their lives, and then don't want to come up here again. So I got a feeling he's probably connected to this hall, and he's probably riding to those stables to put his horse away or tether his horse, or you know, they used to ride on horseback, or they used to have coaches. This coaching house here had about 3 coaches at one time. Now they're all in Bolton Museum in the town centre. They all belong to the Ainsworth family, and they were used, you know, just to take the family out shopping, or if they were going to evenings out to theatre, balls, that kind of thing. EMF meters are still not doing anything. Oh, have you got anything yet there?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay, but why have you got any words coming through?
Written and because.
Written because. Okay, what are you trying to tell us? Be a bit more clear, please.
Written because.
What was written? What is your voice coming?
Shirt.
Shirt.
Written because shirt.
Well, you need to give us. Can you think of anything that
He's
might?
the man who lost his all on the bed.
Oh yeah.
Enroll.
Yes.
Enroll.
The last person.
Written shirt. Enroll.
The last person to own Smithills Hall in about 1930. He gambled it in London, and he lost this hall on the roll of a dice.
Are you the man who lost his shirt?
Is it you? I
Lost his
actually.
shirt.
It's one of the Ainsworths. Did you lose your haul by playing gambling in tables in London, and you rolled the dice and you gambled your haul and lost the entire building, and then Bolton Council stepped in and rescued it?
In other words, you bet your shirt and you lost it.
Yeah, they would have said that back in them days, wouldn't they?
Enroll.
Enroll.
Enrolled in what? What did you enroll? Mission.
Yeah, but don't forget we had all them religious people that lived up here.
Enrolled in the mission.
So maybe it's going to... Do you remember that we saw once on a paranormal up here a hooded monk for about literally very quick 10 seconds?
Are you a monk?
And I work with my spirit guide called Lewis, and he gives me information when I ask him about certain individuals, and he said that this was a monk from the 1200s who was just kind of going about his prayer. Lewis, my guide, if you can bring any spirits forward for us, we would appreciate that, please. The spirits know you here now. We've been coming up here often enough. You already know the names of some of them. If you can bring them forward. Perhaps George Marsh, the man who was burnt at the stake for being a Protestant and wouldn't reform to Catholic. Enroll.
Agency.
That sounds like work. Enroll agency. That sounds like work. But they used to have agency people working over at the coaching house.
Oh, it's kicking off.
Maybe it's a more recent ghost.
Going mad now.
Are you a recent person? Like, did you pass in the last kind of decade or 20 years?
Valentina.
That sounds like Spanish or Italian or something, doesn't it? Or Portuguese. Were you a waitress that worked at the coaching house? Temporary agency.
Going mad again. Gas.
Gas. I wonder if she was killed in something then. Gas explosion. Did something happen to you?
Going crazy again.
Valentina, is this you? Please come forward. Please tell us a bit more about your story. How old are you? What happened to you?
No.
No.
No. Did you leave a note on the fridge?
Note. Sounds like a suicide, doesn't it, actually?
You're supposed to meet somebody on the fridge and you have to know.
Valentina, are you the lady that used to live at the hall? Because you know there was a French line that married into this family. So there could be some French names, but there is an Isabella. Valentina, are you still here? Can you flicker the EMF meters, please, if you stand close by?
What was this note you left? Was there a significance to this note? Was it about for somebody who's supposed to be metered? I didn't realise. Tell us a bit more so we know your story.
Did you hear that owl then? We've had some fun in the past with owls when we've been doing paranormal. Do you remember the cemetery? We were in a cemetery one night and we were just really getting into our paranormal thing. And you know when you're really kind of like just focusing on what you're doing, and this owl flew out of the tree hooting like crazy, and I don't know, we ran in opposite directions. So I'm sure like as you're watching this channel you're going to see some really funny stuff, because believe me, it isn't always deadly serious. We do have a lot of fun and a lot of mishaps, don't we, Andy? We've had many. Tower? Right, you know what, I think we're going to head on down to the woods and then we're going to try some different experiments there. So I'll walk ahead and I'll meet you down at the water, you know, the watermill bit. So I can give you a glimpse of the hall from, like, we're looking up at it from below. That's a haunted room up there. That one's a poltergeist activity, has doors slamming and everything up there. And I'll tell you the reason why for that in a minute. And the other one there that's coming up into view goes back to 1700s. Two ghost ladies apparently haunt that one, but they're from two different eras. One's from like 1600s and one from like 1800s. And I often wonder, you know, when I'm doing this stuff, if you've got a ghost, right, from the 1600s, and then you've got a ghost from like the 1800s, do they see each other? Can they like see each other? Can they talk to each other, communicate, or do they not know that each other's there and do they just pass by? That's one of the things that I'd like to put out there for other paranormalists and get their views on that. Another thing we need to look out for in this region when we're doing these nighttime walks is it a 6-foot critter, Andy? 7-foot critter. Apparently, right, according to a YouTube channel called Winter Hill Investigations, there's a few people around these parts apparently seen a two-legged beast, stands about 7 feet tall, roaming like the moors and going over the tops of Winter Hill, the television mast, dropping down into Belmont and Abbey Village. There's been 3 or 4 sightings. Now, I'm very sceptical about this kind of thing. Yeah, I believe in Bigfoot. I really do, because there's been so much good footage on YouTube and other, you know, channels. I do believe in that, but I think when it comes to a two-legged, half man, half wolf beast roaming the moors, you can't help but think about horror films like Wolfman, can you? And well, anyway, if we see or hear anything weird, because do you remember that night, Andy, we was walking down here about 3 o'clock in the morning? And we got to this corner down here and we literally heard this creepiest groan. But it was like a man who was like in agony, weren't it? Kind of a groan. 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to be in these, what nutcases are going to be in these woods at 3 o'clock in the morning? I mean, how many nutcases do we see at 3 o'clock in the morning when we're going through these kinds of places? You can hear owls. It's nice, I like hearing the owls. So we're walking down through Smithills Woods. This all belongs to Smithills. This was part of the grounds when the family owned it. The Ainsworth family that took over Smithills Hall, 1800s, they were cloth merchants, and they started, if anyone knows the Belmont Bleach Works, they owned that to begin with, and then they passed it on to other people bought it. That's how they made their money. And they expanded Smithills Hall. But the corridor that I pointed out that was haunted, I said there's been poltergeist activity, doors banging. That's still derelict, that bit, because they can't do it up. Every time they try to do it up, they get doors slamming, feet running, and there's been so many painters, decorators, electricians who've just legged it and not wanted to come back. I've spoken to one of those electricians, and he said, I never believe, another one, I didn't believe in ghosts, until I was doing the electrics in that corridor at the hall. He said we went for break. When we came back, all the tools had been scattered, like thrown here, there and everywhere randomly. And on another occasion, they were all kind of working down one end, and a couple of doors started banging and slamming further up. So that hall, we can get in there when the hall is open, and pretty soon, hopefully, we're going to do an all night in there, and we'll add it onto this. So this is part one, Smithills Woods, and it's going to be the part one of our urban legends. We'll add on part two, Smithills Hall, when we can get in, you know, at some time in the near future. We're going down now to, it's a derelict water mill. It used to really literally just pump the water around, but people did work here, and I came down on my own one time. It was about 5 o'clock dusk in the autumn time with like a recorder. And I was asking questions out, and I got a young man shouting back, like, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, maybe he worked here. But obviously we need to capture this evidence, and we need to prove to you that we've caught this evidence. This is just things that we've done in the past, because, you know, Andy and I have been doing paranormal now for 15 years. But it's only just recently that we've decided to make it a more permanent hobby and go, like, with YouTube. So we're going to revisit all the places that we did in the last 15 years anyway, because it'd be good to go back and do them again. This is the birthplace of paranormal for us, because we live a couple of miles away from this hall, this woods. And when I was growing up, my dad used to bring me up here when I was about 6 years of age, telling me all the ghost stories. He used to do the paranormal. He used to do the old style paranormal, the Harry Price style, with the putting the talcum powder down on the floor. If anyone remembers talcum powder, putting the talcum powder on the floor to see if any handprints or footprints or anything like that appeared. And sometimes it's good to look how the Victorians used to connect with the paranormal, do seances, you know, and they had a lot of holding hands around the table. And we're hoping to go to Warwick Castle, which they conduct those Victorian seances there. And if we get the chance, then we're going to do that, and then we'll show you exactly how it's done. Now, I'm going to do the mirror experiment down here, Andy, when we get to the mill. So we'll set the lighting up, and then if you take the camera, and then you can do your own commentary, because you've had your own experiences as well in this area. So this here is where the old water mill used to be. So let me get to the remains. There's a bit where it's still, oh, here it is. God, I can't find it in the dark. This is how dark it is. Here it is. Right, this is the remains of the old water mill. People did actually used to work here back in the day. So I'm going to hand the camera to Andy. I'm going to try this mirror experiment.
Yeah.
So you can film and do the commentary for a bit while I sort my need a couple of things. Just need the mirror. This is a Victorian thing that they used to do for communicating with the dead. So let's try this. And unfortunately we can't use fire pits down here anymore because it belongs to Smithills. There's a fine, the £2,500 fine now if you have a fire pit in this parish.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
And this is perfect for fire pits, isn't it? And stuff. Right, do you want to tell us a story while I'm trying to get these?
Yeah, I will.
What's happened to you at Smithills?
Well, there's a couple of things, I think. There's the one when we were up in that bower room and we had the hall and we had that smoke coming round. Alison's gonna do this experiment now anyway with a mirror. Will you turn the mirror against you and see if you can see anything through it? I'll just...
Alright, what's the light? Do you want me to switch this torch off? This one?
No, you might be alright then.
better or not?
Yeah, you're alright.
Alright, this is
She's going to do this now. See
the
whether she
Victorian
gets anything
method
through it.
of communicating with the dead. This is one of the things they used to do. And if anybody's watched the Conjuring film, the first one, where it's the Warrens were investigating, and it's true, the story. She uses the mirror like this to walk and ask out if anybody's there, and she sees the little boy's face behind her, black and white. So we're going to ask out. Are there any spirit people here tonight? If you want to stand over my shoulder and look into the mirror, then I can see you. I came down here once with a recorder and I heard your voice shout to me. You were a young man, I think. Are there any young men here that used to work at the water mill? Come forward, please don't be frightened. Your friend. I'm Alison.
I'm Andy.
My husband Andy.
See whether he sees, can see everything in there.
I know you used to work here. And I know you used to work here all through the 1800s and into the 1900s. We're through till the Second World War started really. I'm going to keep quiet now for a minute and strive and see if we can get any pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to just have a bit of a more secure footing. I can see what she's doing. I've never tried this before, so we don't know what might happen. We've never tried this before, so we don't know.
And there's still people present. Look over my shoulder
It's
into
just
the
an
mirror and I
interesting
can
new
see
thing
you.
to start.
Don't be frightened to come forward. We're getting a lot of background noise tonight because it's raining,
Yeah.
looking up the trees. So it's not paranormal that if you can hear anything like that. It is spooky looking through here though.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it reminds you of, you know, the Conjuring film.
Yeah, you got.
Well, Lorraine Warren's doing that with the mirror and then like the little boy goes like,
Do let me know if that happens. Yeah,
You're good at scrying. Do you want to have a go at scrying?
if you want me to do it, have a look.
Yeah, you're pretty good at scrying. I'll leave this torch set up here and then you've got some light.
Oh, God. Right, we've got it.
Yeah, I've got it.
We're good to go.
Alright. It's alright, I'm up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Switch your head torch off, Andy, and then I can get you a better filming of you. Yeah, this is one of the Victorian methods. They used to use a lot of seances in those days because there wasn't any electricity. But Andy did some scrying at the ancient ram and his face started to change in the mirror. It was really strange. He developed like a dark...
It's weird because it's something I tend to get quite a bit on. I don't know why. It's a big method that seems to work. Me.
Do you see something? See, do you know what I think? I think some people can scry and some people can't, and I think you're one of them people that can just scry. I never get anything scrying, but you always seem to get, like, stuff happens. Maybe it's because you like looking at yourself in the mirror so much.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you've been in makeup for at least, what, 45 minutes before we come out tonight? I'll not disturb you now, I'll keep quiet while you do some scrying. Peaceful this anyway, nice. Is the mirror clouded over? Lifted over or anything? What do you think it is? Pulling your ear? Well, you know, I got a young lad voice down here that time when I come down on my own, so maybe it's him. I didn't get a name or anything, he was just shouting like... Oh really? What, you mean towards the stream or towards the mirror? Okay. So it was a working watermill. Have we got any people present that used to work here? Any staff? Anybody just walking through the woods is just curious as what we're doing here, paranormal? This is your chance.
Having to move it back. The mirror's being pulled. Literally trying to be pulled out of my hand.
Well, the mirrors have been always considered magical objects, though, aren't they? I mean, way back in time, they've always been considered magical. They've, you know, you go back to the old fairy tales where,
It's not me, it's quite...
you know, with it Snow White, the Wicked Queen looks in the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. The mirror has been a magical object for centuries. Perhaps it's someone who's can look at you in the mirror but's afraid to look at us, you know, like face to face. Because don't forget, I sometimes think ghosts are just as frightened of us as we are of them coming forward. You know, they're like, these people from the future, what are they going to be like? But we're just like you. We're exactly the same. We're just a couple of centuries later on in time. People are pretty much the same. You go back in time, and the food they used to eat, and the kind of clothing they used to wear, winter and summer, it isn't much different to what we have now. You know, the houses that people used to build. It's very, very similar to what our needs. Did you hear something? I'll tell you what, shall we try, if you get my phone out and there's 2 ghost boxes on the spirit box, and there's, it's just in the pouch there on the floor. I've loaded up Ghostcom, I think it is. Yeah, just slip it in there. If you go on my phone, there's Ghostcom, which is, it scans channels, that one, and then just picks up voices. And then I've downloaded Spirit Talker as well, which actually brings like words, messages through. So we'll give them a whirl and see if we can hear anything. If we can't see anything, then we'll switch to the next thing, which is listening.
Which one did you want to try?
Either, it don't matter. The second one's...
Spirit box.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's got a choice of 3 channels. And what you do is you can put it onto one channel. And it scans, it's like, you know, your radio, AM and FM and all that, you can get different waves coming through. That's one way that spirits can talk through. That's why people use radios. We have got an old-fashioned radio here as well, which we do like to use from time to time. But after this, we're going to have a walk up to the Tippett house, which is another derelict house belonging to this estate. And we're going to try the old radio up there. Because I do like to try the old methods as well as the new. Yeah, you can get all this digital stuff, and that's great. You know, you can get a better signal, you can get better sound, you can get better pick-up ghosts. You know, security cameras are picking up paranormal footage all over the world and stuff like that. But I sometimes like to go back and see how the Victorians did it, and see how Harry Price, famous 1930s ghost hunter who did all the investigations on Borley Rectory back in the day, which has now been burnt to the ground because Andy and I tried to find it when we were down on the south coast, but it's no longer there. So I think they built houses or something. They always build houses, don't they, and call it like Borley mansions. But so Harry Price, he was a very big ghost investigator at that time, and he was responsible for investigating Borley Rectory. But he had many other cases, but that's the one he was famous for. You can get good books still about Borley Rectory. It's one of the most haunted places that England, you know, ever had, really, until it burnt down suspiciously. Actually, they never found out how it caught fire. It's somewhere down in Kent, that area. So it's a pretty interesting place to read up about for people that are interested in, you know, following paranormal cases, because I like to follow the ghost researchers that came before us, Ed and Lorraine Warren, who did thousands of cases in their lifetime. The Conjuring films are all based around their cases. Harry Price, as I've mentioned, and you know, Victorian people. And Aleister Crowley was around in the Victorian times, and the experiments that they conducted back then, it's pretty incredible really, you know, because of the equipment. Well, they didn't really have equipment in those days. They just used their imagination and they just did their work. But if it wasn't for those ghost investigators... Yeah, see, that's the thing. Aleister Crowley wouldn't have run out of a battery, would he? And good old, what's his name, Harry Price with his talcum powder, he wouldn't have run out of a battery either. Has the battery drained? Because if that's happened, this is the second time this has happened. That was fully charged when we come out, and I switched it off. I had a really creepy feel that someone's standing behind me. I don't know why, I just had a really creepy feel there was someone stood right up behind me then. There's nothing there. Let's see if I can get any orbs. Hello, is there anybody there? Come closer. Show yourself on camera. We do want to see you, we do want to talk to you. Whatever it was has shifted now. I just felt like there was something stood, you know, just really close up then for a minute. Probably just somebody watching what we're doing, like a spirit person maybe. If you can't get that one, I'll try the other. I think the water wheel itself was somewhere in that direction, because you can't see it now, but it slopes down, and I think the wheel was over there. So they used to power the wheel, but people used to work, well, a handful of people would have worked here just to power the water wheel. Is it the one with the 3 channels? Press it on and then leave it and it'll kick in. You just got to give it a few seconds and then it kicks in, because I was messing with it before and it were doing the same with me. It just makes like an interference noise. Is it making noise now? Yeah, so now what it does, it scans and then it should come up with, but it actually speaks the words rather than just give you the words. Is there a young man here that tried to communicate the last time we were down this neck of the woods? Because I heard your voice clear the last time I had my recorder down here. Please come forward and tell us your name. Or give us some message. Try the other one if that's not working. We probably could have brought the fire pit down here and got away with it. Just try the other one then if that's not doing anything. We'll have a look around ourselves while we're waiting. You can download off GhostTube the equipment that you need for paranormal. So if anybody out there is thinking of taking it up, doesn't want to spend the money on the equipment, if you go on your on Google and go onto GhostTube, it will bring up all the different things that you can download for your phone, and some of them are free and some you have to pay for. So literally you can just do ghost investigation. All you need is a mobile. These days you can just... I think we're on. I can hear some noise now. Alright, should we ask out? Who's there, please? Can you give us a name? I'm Alison. This is Andy. Did you used to work here? Is this your watermill? Did you work long hours? I'm filming the pitch black because it's better to pick up orbs if there's no light source. Did you hear a woman's voice then? Andy? Did you hear a woman's voice? But it sounded like an owl, so I don't know if it was an owl. Maybe it was I think it might have been an owl actually, that. Just pick a different one if it's not doing it. This just shows you that, like, when you're filming, it doesn't always go according to plan. You know, you get these people on certain programs and they look professional all the time, and they don't show you. Well, they might show you like the bloopers, but they don't always show you the stuff that happened. It was working. What's the battery like on that? Alright, we'll try again and ask out then. Are there any spirit people present at this watermill? Do you know what I think we'll do? Knock that off and get the recorder out, because we can listen. We can properly hear a definite voice. We'll just listen, just ask the questions and listen, because I can't mess about with that all night. It's taking up too much time. Switch that off. We'll use the voice recorder. Alright, do you want to take this camera and I'll do the voice recorder session then? Right, I'm just going to climb up. Oh my god, I'm not going to climb up there. Let's climb up here. It won't be the first time I've gone spread eagled in the mud on these investigations at night time. Alright, we'll swap over for a bit. And then, I don't know, are there any experiments you want to do tonight? I'm just going to do some recording here. Then we'll go on up to the Tippet house. And I think I'm going to try the radio up there, to be honest. I think sometimes if you just try different methods, some things, yeah, you get nothing. And then you get the one thing that you can just get all your activity through and your communication through with. So this is why we always take a bag with like everything in it. And if one thing isn't working, we'll switch to another. And if that isn't working, so at some point, I think when you find the instrument that is going to communicate, just use that for the next couple of hours, because you're guaranteed to get something through. It's in the pouch, I think. This is why women do the packing when you go on holiday. And if it's not there, you get blamed. Why aren't you packed it? When it comes to paranormal packing, Andy does the packing. I put it in the pouch. should be in there. In there. Well, have you got anything on your phone we can use? Have you got the Necrophonic? Well, let's use the Necrophonic then. We'll do that here and then we'll press on then to the Tippet house. You do the paranormal here and then I'll do the one at the Tippet house. So we've got a Necrophonic app on this phone, which is, again, it's another one that kind of listens out for voices, but this is a very good one. This one we've actually paid money for, so this is a good one. The others, you download them for free, and to be fair, if you've downloaded them for free, they're not always that good. Some are not, it depends what you get. But this Necrophonic, we've used it in many places. We used it at the Liverpool Newsham Park Asylum, didn't we, this one, the Necrophonic. A lot of people, a lot of paranormalists, lots of YouTube channels use this. And that's the reason we downloaded it, because obviously we watch all the YouTube paranormal channels, mostly to see what they're doing and what equipment they're using to get the best results. Sounds like frogs. Maybe we got ghost frogs. Are there any spirit people here? Please talk to us through this Necrophonic. All you need to do is go up close to Andy and talk there, and we'll be able to pick you up, hear you. Let me know if you get any significant phrases. I'm sure I've seen a flashy thing behind you then. I don't know, I'll have to look back on the camera after. I'm sure something flashed, you know, like a little flicker behind you, then light. I'm not sure, it might be my eyes. Just where you were sat, right there. It might be rain on the rocks. I think it's rain glinting. I can see it now. Yeah, it's alright, it's rain. Go and debunk it then. Are there any spirit people here to talk to Andy? Can you tell us your name and why you're here? How old you are?
Who are you?
Oh my god, oh, it's you. It's you. I wondered what it was coming out through the door.
Well, I'm really sorry that we lost connection with the camera, but you know what happened, don't you, Andy?
It was the 8-foot critter grabbed hold of it.
10-foot critter came out of the shrubs and grabbed the camera clean out of my hands.
And I've lost the camera.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to be really careful now.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see it.
But it's got the camera anyway, so if you get a new YouTube channel...
And look what I've just noticed.
What?
Look what I've just noticed. Look what I've just noticed. Film.
Film? What have you just noticed?
There's some blood red arrows on the floor.
Oh yeah?
Look at that there. There's a blood red arrow on the floor. It's pointing right to the Tippet house. You know what that means? It means we'll have to go up to the Tippet house.
Because he's got my camera.
So, come on, let's go up to the Tippet house. Yeah, so I was walking up and something came out of the shrubs and grabbed the camera clean out of my hands. So this is part 2. The Tippet house. When we get there. Only a couple of minutes up the Tippet path. So we've got to be careful up here because I know it's raining tonight and stuff, but there have been like homeless and squatters and people like that hanging around up here in the path. Which is sometimes what we have to check out for when we do abandon, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Which we're going to be doing some more abandon pretty soon.
Yep.
We have another couple of locations on the map. So
Police station.
we're going to be doing our urban legends for the next couple of episodes. And then we've got a couple of abandoned buildings that we're going to have a look at. And then we're going to come back to do Swivel's Hall and get in it and around it and tell you a bit more of the story. You can hear owls and you can hear police cars.
Yeah.
Perhaps the owl's driving the police car.
Owl
Never
police.
know. It's got to be, what's it called now? Equal opportunities, isn't it?
Owl police.
Well, he's on night shift, he's on the right shift.
On What's their number? 2828
666.
2828.
28282.
Anyway,
You know what owls are sign off, don't you? Around the Nautica.
yeah. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're thinking about it. A possibility.
If enough people want us to do it, we'll give it a go. Right, Tippet
Exactly.
House is just.
Uh,
Is it really further? Is it further?
Where's it further up?
It's one of them places that's been
think it's
overgrown by
further
leaves and
up,
everything,
innit?
so.
I think.
Yeah, it's actually just a little bit further. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the blood red arrow.
So this
It's
is.
not fine.
It points the way. Yeah. Anyway. I think we're nearly there now. I think we're nearly. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, here. There's a set.
Through the door.
Oh, there's a door.
Yeah, we've just got to make sure nobody's in there because you know sometimes you get people running around. Hello? Is that police? No, there's no one in there, alright. Bed and breakfast, anyone? No, we're in. That's alright. Alright,
It's too wet.
give me that and I'll film round. Can you just have a look in the backpack and get, there's a radio, you know, in the plastic tub. So I think we'll do a radio session. Because we've not done radio for, when did we last do radio?
I think I'll take the map.
Is it the mast? Oh god, yeah, the mast. That was when we had that pretty scary experience of the rope there. Oh my god. Do you know, I always hate looking at rope because you think it's something going to be dangling on the end of it. This is the Tippet House. This is where there was an actual cottage here. There's a rope, but it's just a rope, thank god. That's the house there. It's all overgrown now. See how nature's took over? Brambles and everything. It's Who used to live in this house? Can you give us your name, please? I'm Alison. This is Andy. And we've come up to visit your house. Did you live here on your own? I heard a noise then, but I don't know if it's coming from the road. There is a road. Well, if it sounded like a motorbike revving up to me, to be fair. Something animals. We've got to remember we get a lot of animals, foxes. Sometimes when you hear that shuffling, I've been startled by this before. You know, I've legged it and it's been like squirrels or, you know, 9 times out of 10 it's not paranormal. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be something like explainable. So Andy's got the radio on over there. So what we're doing is he's just scanning through the stations to see if we can pick up any spirit people speaking. Same as what we were doing before, but that was digital. This is just a handheld radio, old style. Are there any spirit people here that would like to communicate with us, talk through this device? We've come to see your lovely home. We've come to have a cup of tea. Are you going to welcome us in? Are you going to show us around? Let's see if we can find any things that used to belong to the house. We've done derelicts, like abandoned, this kind of thing before, and we've found old sinks and taps and things, you know, bits of plumbing and stuff, masonry still lying about. It's been pretty interesting. In fact, we're going to be doing on our Urban Legends talk holes soon, which is 2 abandoned farmhouses. And it's pretty good actually there, because we did pick up some activity that time, the last time we went there. My foot's, what's that there? It's just like a step or something. This was probably the outdoors, this bit here. That was probably like the yard. I think the actual house was this over here, but it's all grown over now. Because these look like rooms separated off. Reminds me of the ones up at Rivington. You know the houses up at Rivington. When we go and do the urban legend up there, we're going to have to go and look at them houses and all. Anybody used to live here? What's your name? Who are you? Please come forward out of the shadows. Please come and talk to Andy through this radio. You got any messages for us? Something's coming through. Please try and give us any message.
See what it reminds me of?
Right.
Yes.
Looks like a coffin, doesn't it? You probably won't fit in it though.
Guess what it reminds me of?
I have no idea what it reminds you of. The toilet?
Josh!
Oh, yeah. Which film was that? Oh, Blair Witch. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's very Blair Witch. Oh my god, why are you moving?
It's theatrical.
Alright, oh my god, I thought you'd seen something. That looks like a coffin up floor, but I don't think you'll fit in it, will you? It's a bit big. He's partial to lying in a coffin, Andy. There's some up at Morecambe, and we need to go back to the stone coffins at Morecambe.
That's a coffin.
Well, it looks like one. Well, it's shaped like one, isn't it? We could take it home and put flowers in it. Little coffin flower bed. I thought somebody had written help on the wall then. It doesn't say help. I don't know why. It always freaks me out when people write stuff like that on the wall. But that was the actual house over there. It's all grown over. There's a whole tree growing in it. So nature takes over, doesn't it? There's even rooms at the back there. Yeah, there's some rooms at the back there, like turns a corner there, and then there's rooms. Some of these rooms must have been like bathrooms and that, so I'm going to climb up and see if I can see. This is where I'm probably going to go down a pothole, guys. It won't be the first time. Alright, let's get over here and see what there is down there. It's all part of the same house, so it's got to have been, it's like an L shape. Maybe it was the bedroom. Was this your bedroom? And then it goes round, so it's kind of, this would have been like the wooded area, garden area or something, this probably. And that wall over the other side of that is an old garden centre, but that's also abandoned and derelict. Because we used to buy plants there when I was a kid. One of my neighbours actually had a plant stall there, but it disappeared around 30 years ago. And since then it's just been like derelict. So behind that wall, oh my god, it's an owl. It's an owl. This is what happens on Paranormal. You get owls just flipping, freaking you out left, right and centre. I mean, I love owls, God knows, but perhaps you've got something you'd like to say. 282. His phone number 2820. He's probably thinking, what are them two pillocks doing then? They're in the pouring rain. We lost the contact lens. Alright, I'm coming back. There's bits of wood and stuff. You know, like maybe old door frames. Can you hear that squawking? I bet its nest is right up there. They probably got maybe have young owls in there or something.
Yeah.
And they don't really like, the light confuses them, doesn't it? Alright, there's a bit of a ditch here, so... Yeah, it looked like it was quite big actually, this place, back in there. That would have been the outer wall, wouldn't it? Yeah. But if you look at this wall, it looks like it's actually been painted, or is it someone's graffitied it maybe? Looks like it was painted, doesn't it? So perhaps this was part of the house. Hey, do you know what? It was probably a pretty big house, this. Well, it looks like it's a wall that's been painted at some point. So was this your home? How did it come to be abandoned? Were you the last person to live here? It was always called the Tippett House, and I don't know why. Whether it was the name of the people that owned it, or... But I've noticed now there's a new house up there been built called the Tippett House. So they've taken the name from this. This was the original, and it is very Blair Witch, to be fair. Andy's right when he says that. Do you know what we need to do? Halloween, we need to come back and do a Blair Witch project. We need to do the Pendle Witch project is what we need to do.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea.
Pendle Witch project.
It's stuck in the woods there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There's a table there. Shall we do some knocking?
Something.
Yeah, where did I just seen a table somewhere? Is it over there? Like a plank of wood, newish plank of wood. Bring it over here and put it on that. The radiator. All right. Hey, maybe it must have belonged to the house then, mustn't it?
No, radiator.
Can you knock on this? Please knock back. It must have belonged to the house, mustn't it? Who'd carry a radiator up here? The homeless are not going to bring a radiator up here, are they? And I think that trough might have had something to do with this place as well. Probably was a nice little place, this, back in there.
Insurance.
House insurance. Oh, maybe they lost the house because they had no insurance. Did you have no insurance to cover what happened? Because you know it might have got flooded out here. Because when it rains up here, doesn't it? In the hills and stuff. This is the foot of Winter Hill. So top end of Smithers Estate, foot of Winter Hill, near Scout Road. And when it hammers it down, and this floor is very damp, possibly. If it's saying insurance on there, what if she didn't have the insurance to build it back up again and not leave it abandoned? Is that the story? Please confirm, yes or no.
Just speak through this. Any words? Don't mean you any harm.
Please tell us what your house was like when you lived here.
Speak through this. Tell us what your house was like. Anything.
It was a beautiful area to live.
Actual.
It was your actual house. Are we standing right in the middle of the actual house here? Because you look, that must have been a room. There's a radiator over there. So all of this must have been the house. Then that bit looked like it might have been a bathroom because it's smaller.
Yeah.
Am I right? It's picking up pace, isn't it? Alright, so we're using this device now, which will pick up the pace when a spirit is close by and then start to give us the words that they're trying to say. So we're just trying to figure out the layout of your house. Can you help us out here? Was it one house or was it two? Was it... Do you know what? Lewis, my guide, sometimes he jumps in and gives me information. Lewis has just told me this was an outhouse here. You know where the toilet would have been? He's just said outhouse. So over here was the outhouse where the outdoor toilet would have been. Winter. So was it the winter? Were the winters cold? Did you get a lot of rain and damp? Is that what made you have to leave and give it up? Right, Lewis said that was the outhouse where the outdoor toilet, this bit here. So this would have been path, probably. And this is probably the house here and back there. Probably was quite big actually. I always thought it was a small place, but now you actually come in and look at it, it's actually pretty big, isn't it, really? Spacious. I mean, possibly even like a small farmhouse. Seen. What have you seen? Have you seen us? Or have you've not seen the critter? Not the 11-foot critter. You got to watch that thing, it pinches cameras. Are you saying you can see us? You've seen us here?
Seen our channel?
Well, we're dance. You want me to dance? Oh, doubts. We can dance, can't we, Andy? We can do that. Well, we're going to dance the Charleston on the Eastbourne one, but we got sidetracked. No, because...
Did you not do it?
Well, it were all... No, we didn't put it on. We didn't add the I should have done the Charleston and added it on, but I didn't do that. Violent? Maybe something happened here. I mean, you know, some of these abandoned houses are actually murder houses, aren't they? But I never heard anything in this area because I grew up in this area and all I knew about this place was that it was belonged to an elderly lady and she was the last one and she passed away and that was it. That's the legend, the local story with the neighbours and family and friends and stuff like that. But like, you know, some people just don't have anybody, do they? And they just,
Didn't have anybody. It's just
them are the buildings that tend to go abandoned. The houses that tend to go abandoned are either where some
somebody can
like violent crime's been committed, like a murder or something, or a suicide, or this kind of thing where they just fall derelict because people have just left, died, abandoned, and
Yeah.
then nature takes over, and eventually this thing will be disappeared altogether. But we've still got the shell of it at the minute. So can you give me your name? The lady was the last person to live here. Or can you show yourself maybe on the camera? Come forward. We'd love to see you. We'd love to keep your memory alive and keep the story of this lovely house alive. It must have been a beautiful house in its day. But yeah, quite sheltered here, but I know the weather gets pretty bad in winter up here. We used to come up here with our sledges and stuff. Because the snow gets so thick, like up on the tops and stuff. Yeah, it was definitely a room, wasn't it, with the painted wall. I've not seen any fireplace though, have you? Usually these places have a fireplace, and then you know that's usually the kitchen,
Oh, yeah.
or sometimes back in the old days it would have been the kitchen. Now the fireplaces are all in the living room, the lounge, but back in the sort of 1800s they were in the kitchen always, the fireplaces. The cooking range and all that. So. Is it gone dead now, that? Try the EMF meter, because there's no electric anywhere around here, is there? We're just going to try the EMF meter. It's police at it distance. I was going to do me NWA, the police. The police! But we're not allowed to swear, so I better not do that leave that track. It's the police, probably coming for us like they were at Lancaster. What are you lunatics doing out in the rain? We wanted to find a couple of coppers like you to ask that question. What's to go on, do your impression? The Haribo, I'm not allowed to say Haribo. Well, we can because we've been to Pontefract, haven't we? And it's all Haribo there.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Anyway,
the advert with the police.
That scene with the thing. Maybe the bear can steal the crown jewels.
That's it.
So, what is it? Maybe the bear.
Maybe the bear can steal the crown jewels.
And maybe the police can find us.
We are the police!
We are the police. Oh, I got a bit of different.
Right, so there's no electric anywhere up here, so if that flickers we've got something then. Okay, come forward towards Andy and then we can see if we can pick you up with this. Don't be frightened of any of this equipment, it's only to detect you, it's not going to harm you in any way. It isn't even going to record you, really.
No.
Because most of the time you don't pick ghosts up, do you? They're very, very, very infrequent when they want to come forward. Like I said before, when we film, we don't make things up. Me and Andy, we never have. And we've been doing paranormal now for 15 years. And literally, we've seen, well, I personally have seen one ghost at Smithers Hall, the monk I was telling you about on the first part. Which, that was only like 10 seconds. And I caught him on my old phone.
This doesn't even go off me for.
And the second paranormal activity was the Golden Fleece in York, where the door rattled at 3 o'clock in the morning. Those things we definitely couldn't explain, but majority of stuff you can. It looks like the owls have moved into this place, doesn't it? They've got a nice house. A nice house here for them, innit? They don't have to pay anything and they get a nice house. For owls it is, because there's trees everywhere.
Hooters.
Oh, Hooters.
It's called Hooters.
Oh, should we call it? Yeah, it's no longer the Tippett House. No, it's Hooters. Any YouTube followers who have ever go to the States will know exactly what I mean by Hooters. They're supposed to be opening a Hooters here, aren't they, at Trafford? All I'm going to say about Hooters, without getting sued, is it's a very cheap American, like, hotel stroke drive-in diner like that rents rooms for the afternoon for a couple of hours here and there, and has topless women serving drinks behind the bar, even in this day and age.
He tried opening.
We were going to stay at Hooters in Las Vegas, weren't we? Because it seemed the cheapest option.
Yeah, but we thought it was Owl, and then we
Well, we was thinking, yeah, it was like Hooters the Owl, but it wasn't actually Hooters the Owl. It was other Hooters. Anyway, we're straying. We're straying. This isn't going to bring ghosts forward unless the pervy ones. Not sure I want to get entangled with the pervy ghost, to be fair. Never know though. Might get some activity going, might it? But I'm not flashing anything just to get a ghost. No, that ain't happening, man. Not in this weather.
I've never been goosed by a ghost.
Yeah, you did. When we did Hever Castle last year, you got your beard stroked. In Anne Boleyn's bedroom, of all places. You always told me there was never any other women.
Something dead about 400 years.
Does it make a difference? She was still stroking your beard. Well, she was partial to her beard. Perhaps she thought you was Henry.
I would have thought I would have better catch the name.
Yeah.
Unless my leg wasn't all pussy.
So the EMF meter didn't flicker, did it not at all? So I think the gist of the story is that maybe some didn't have insurance for this house, but the local story was always that an elderly lady just passed away and that was it.
I think she just.
And it didn't go to anyone, and then it just became abandoned.
She's probably just let it go.
Yeah, maybe.
She's the last one in her family. Like a lot of these abandoned places.
Yeah.
You just get left and left and left, and because there's no.
I'll tell you what then, we'll walk down towards the garden centre. And we'll finish off there because that was a really active place back in the 70s and that. Everyone used to go up there for Christmas trees and plants and all that stuff. And surely there must still be some spirit people that used to love working there. Or gardening people even who just enjoyed buying plants and stuff there. Okay, so we go back onto the path and then back down. Yeah, because if we go up, just going to go up to Winter Hill, which we're saving for tomorrow night, hopefully, if the weather's good. We're going to head on up to Winter Hill, to a place called the Scotchman's Stump, which is not as bad as it sounds, to be fair. But we will save that for tomorrow, and when we get to the Scotchman's Stump, we'll tell you the legend, and then we'll do some paranormal filming up there, and then we're going to move on to Two Lads, where two skeletons were found, and then our third and final part of Urban Legends is going to be Rivington Pike area and the ponds, because there is a legend there too, and a ghost was actually seen up there. So that's going to be part 2 and part 3 of Urban Legends. This is part 1. We're saving Smithil's Hole to do separately, because we are going to do a few episodes on haunted halls and houses, like sort of Tudor halls. We've got some plans for Halloween. Some graveyard stuff we're going to do. A couple of abandoned buildings that we have lined up. So there's plenty coming, and we load it up as soon as we can. So there'll be stuff coming on every Saturday or Sunday. And we do want to revisit, the places that we've done paranormal for the last 15 years. Andy and I have been together 15 years. We've been married for 10 years, and we've literally been doing paranormal since the first day we met. So, but back then, we kept it as just a hobby, thing to do at the weekend, because we don't drink, either of us. And it's only recently, really, by watching other YouTubers, we've decided maybe we should just, start recording stuff that we do now, because, as you can see, yeah, we do paranormal, but we have a laugh as well, because I do believe that you are in the spirit world.